Okay, so we are going to work through a few problems that look like some homework problems that I have assigned. Look down here at the guided practice, and this is on page 82. We're going to look here at just a few of these problems and make sure that we are able to work them. Whatever questions that we have, hopefully they will get answered, but we'll see. All right, so here I have 1/2 times 5/8. Well, in order to do this problem, I've got to make sure that I can't cross cancel anything right away. At this point, let's look at our numbers. We've got 2 and 5. If there's anything that can go into both 2 and 5, so any number that can go into both 2 and 5, we would need to divide that out and cross cancel. But however, we don't have anything. I mean, we can list our factors over here. If we have 2, our factors are 1 and 2. If we have 5, our factors are 1 and 5. And the only number that they had in common was 1. And I mean, you could technically, say, oh, let's divide by 1. But if you do that, you divide 2 by 1, you're just going to get 2. Or if you divide 5 by 1, you're just going to get 5. You don't change your numbers at all. So that 1 is really not going to be helpful to us. So there's nothing that we can really cross cancel by here. Same deal with the 1 and the 8. There's nothing, if you listed out your factors, there's nothing we can use to cross cancel. So I'm going to go ahead and start multiplying. Across the top is 1 times 5 should give me 5. And then 2 times 8 should give me 16. And then I'm done. There's nothing I can do to simplify it. I mean, if there would have been anything to simplify, we would have needed to do it before we multiplied. But there's nothing we could do. So try to get this situated. So for this next one, we are going to look at number 2 here. And it says 3/5 times 5/9. So let's see if there's anything that we can use to cross cancel here. The 3 and the 9, look at them first. Think about your factors of 3. Give us a little bit more space. Factors of 3 are 1 and 3. Factors of 9 are 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. So the best number we can use in order to simplify this down would be 3. It is our greatest common factor, and so if you remember back when we worked on these, that is actually what you're using here to simplify these fractions before you multiply. So here, if I did this, I would say, okay, well, 3 goes into 3 1 time, and 3 goes into 9 3 times. So all I did was divide those two numbers by 3, and that's perfectly legal. It's something I actually would prefer you to do. Let's look at the 5 and the 5, see if we can figure out what we could do to cross cancel in this case. Let's look at factors of 5. 1 and 5. Okay, well, if we did factors of this 5, we would come up with the exact same stuff. So let's just use this number 5 right here, divide by 5 on both that bottom one and this top one. So I'm going to divide here. 5 into 5 should give me 1. 5 into 5 again should give me 1 again. So what I really have here, and I'm going to erase this mess again. What I really have here is a couple of new fractions. Instead of 5/5, we've actually turned this fraction into 1/5. Or not 1/5. 1 over 1. And instead of 5/9 right here, we actually have 1/3. So these little numbers replace the numbers that we had to begin with. And now there's nothing we can use to cross cancel again. So we're just going to multiply across the top. 1 times 1 would have given me 1. 1 times 3 would have given me 3. And that's the simplest form that you can give that answer. Let's see, I can't really reach that number 3 over here, but we can at least look at it. And we're looking at this one right here where it says 3/8 times 2/5. Let's see if we can cross cancel it all. We have 3 and 5, so if you want to double check, you can do factors of 3, which are 1 and 3, factors of 5, which are 1 and 5. Like I've said before, the 1's not going to do anything for you, and we don't really have any other factors that are in common. So there's nothing we can do there for our cross-canceling. Now let's look at 8 and 2. Find a number that can go into both of those two. So if you need to, go ahead and list out your factors right here. Factors of 2 are 1 and 2. Factors of 8 are 1 and 8 and 2 and 4. And we want to find a factor that they have in common. So I'm going to write here, I'm going to circle my 2's because I know that that is literally the greatest common factor. I mean, that's why we've been learning it, is to be able to use it for this type of thing. So we have the greatest common factor here, so that means that we can divide both of these numbers by 2. 2 divided by 2 should give you 1. 8 divided by 2 should give you 4. Now from here, we've got a couple of new fractions. Again, I'll go ahead and rewrite this all over here. I really have now 3/4 times 1/5. And what I should get here is 3 times 1 would give me 3, and 4 times 5 would have given me 20. And then I'd be done. Now these down here with the mixed numbers are a little bit more complicated. Mixed numbers and whole numbers. Let's double check and play around with this and see if we can figure this out. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this. So right here for number 4, I'm going to start doing this in a different color. We need to figure out how to multiply these two numbers. Well, what I'm going to tell you to do is we're going to start off with changing this mixed number right here to an improper fraction. So in order to do that, I've got to do 2 times 8, which is 16, and add my 3, gives me 19. And leave my denominator, times 16. I can write any whole number as a fraction by writing it over 1. And that's all I got to do. So now my problem looks very much like the ones I had above. So I'm going to go ahead and work through this. 1 and 19, not a whole lot we can do with that. Those are both prime numbers. Don't have enough factors that really are going to help me at all. And then we've got 8 and 16. If you think about it, we know that 8 goes into 8 and it goes into 16. So we don't even need to work that factor T. We can just say we know that 8 goes into 8 and 8 goes into 16. 8 goes into 8 one time. It goes into 16 2 times. So let me rewrite my fraction over here. I have 19 over 1 times 2 over 1, which would give me 19 times 2 is going to give me 38 over 1, which is the same thing as just 38. There's my answer. So you notice that those are a little bit more complicated, but honestly, all you got to do is put them in the same form as what you were doing to begin with, and then you should be good to go. I'm going to look right here, down here. Well, if it'll let me scroll. Look down here at these numbers below, or these problems below. Now, this problem is not completely printed right or typed right. They're supposed to, I'm looking at the packet over here, hard copy of it. It should say 1/4 right here. And on this one it should say 3/5. So we're going to work this and we're going to see what happens here. We have 1/4 of 12 bottles of water equals how many bottles? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say 1/4 of 12. Now you got to think of this the same way as just saying 12 over 1. And then it's just a fraction multiplication problem. You can cross cancel here with the 4 and the 12. 4 goes into both of these things. 4 goes into 4 one time. It goes into 12 3 times. So I can do 1 times 3 here, and I get 3. 1 times 1 is 3. 3 over 1 is the same thing as just 3. So that's all I need. And we'll do this one more. We're going to do this one right here. The 3/5 of $40 restaurant bill is what? So let's see. We've got $40 restaurant bill. We want to multiply it by 3/5 because it says of. 3/5 of it. Of usually means multiplication. Just stick this over 1. So we're going to say that the 40 and the 5 will cross cancel because 5 will go into both of them. 5 goes into itself 1 time. 5 goes into 4 8 times. So really my new fractions are 8/1 times 3/1. And if you solve this out, you would get 8 times 3 gives you 24. 1 times 1 would give you 1. And 24/1 is just the exact same thing as saying 24. And so we're done with this as well. So this is just a few different problems where we do multiplication. Down below, they've got more addition, and that's not as much of what we were talking about today. So I'm going to leave it alone and leave it at this with multiplication. I hope this has been helpful, and good luck on the homework. Bye.